Hello everybody, and sorry for the delay. I saw someone mention in the chat that the thumbnail's a Southern train and we're delayed, so absolutely no comment on that. It wasn't intentional at all, I can promise you. So after all the technical difficulties we had last week, hopefully I've managed to get those sorted out now. We've got a nice sort of new looking stream. As you can see, you've got chat window there and everything. I know, we're doing well, we're getting posh. Just starting to get the stream sorted out, getting posh now. So yeah, I've had a fiddle around with the settings. Last week I was trying to render the video in 8K, and the stream and YouTube and the computer didn't really like that very much. So this week I think we're back how we should be. So we're going to jump back into Train Sim World, and we're going to have another go on the East Coastway route, but this time we're going to go from Seaford to Brighton and then Brighton back to Eastbourne. So pretty much what we done last time, but the other way round. Hopefully with little lagging and the rest of it. Hopefully on the way round I can answer some of your questions as well. So, you know, questions in the chat, that sort of thing. Tell us what sort of an evening you're having. Tell us what you've been up to today. Ask away, and of course, as usual, if I can answer anything, I will do. Important to say as always that all the opinions expressed within this video are solely my own and may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by, may have been employed by or associated with, or anything else. That was the wrong overlay. That's a really good start, isn't it? Try that one. There we go. So without further ado, and without chatting from me, I think we better jump into the game. So here we are. You can see the improvements on the stream straight away. I've got a nice driver cam down in the bottom left there. Move to the bottom left as well, because some of you commented in the last one that we were blocking out the speedo. So we're gonna chuck it over there and leave it there. Night tracks, oh no BK, dang, no wonder it was so laggy. 8K, yeah. The game was playing beautifully on my computer as it goes, but yeah, the stream just wasn't having none of it. Rightio, so we're going to jump in the 377. Do you know what, as it's windy today, I'm going to put the wind up. I'm not sure what difference that makes in-game, but we'll put the wind up. We'll have a little bit of cloud as well, just make it a little bit more interesting. And off we go, continue. So what are we doing? We want to start at Seaford. 2 Charlie 23 Seaford to Brighton service. Fishbowl, the driver hat. Haha. Yeah, I'll dig it out for you in a minute. The driver hat. We'll call it the Spad hat. Operate an all-stop service to Brighton. Class 3774 car. Incidentally, I'm sure you all know, but Train Sim World are going to be releasing a 313 pretty soon, which I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on. I don't sign the 313, I've never driven a 313. But yeah, really looking forward to getting my hands on that, especially on the East Coastway route, which is where they're mainly used these days. So hopefully it's not laggy, guys. If it does look too laggy to you, then do shout out in the chat. So right, we are at Seaford. Let's get this thing set up. Key in. Before we do that, actually, I'm going to put the safety systems back in, because I like to drive with the safety systems on. So AWS in and DRA in. DSD is just annoying, to be honest with you. Sit back in the seat. Right, so keys in, into forward. There we go. And we're going to get the doors open. Again, we're opening the doors on the offside, so we're going to use the offside door buttons. Going to get up out of the seat, which is just good practice. Southern actually refitted all their 377s a little while ago with these nice new driver's seats. Before that they had old style Chapman seats, the same ones that the 375s have got, but these new 377 seats are really comfortable, they're absolutely lovely. It's actually not modelled correctly because that is on a proper like air suspension thing there, not a pole, so yeah, they've missed that off, but I'll forgive them. So right, starting signal's green, so we don't need to set our DRA. Better put some lights on though. Day running, tail lights off. Right, lock the doors. And we're supposed to be out of it at... No, timetable's gone. What time are we supposed to have gone? 10:25 and 49. Yeah. Right, let's go then. Into forward. Off we go to Bishopstone. So what have we got going on in the chat tonight? Let's have a little look. Night tracks, don't want to add today's rain too then? Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll put some rain on when we do the second run back from Brighton. That's not a bad idea. So look, train driver distracted by chat and we're speeding. Let's get some braking rather quickly. There we go, we're good to go. Fishbowl, can you play SCR next stream? No comment. Dave Cannon, hi Dabrow, could you explain the door system again please? Yeah, I'll go through that a bit later on in the stream, Dave, no worries at all. Officially Charles, 3 Whiskey 75, went to Victoria today. Yes, I saw that. The driver who was on it posted a note earlier. My son's asking me if I want a cup of tea. He's holding up a note. Show the stream. There you go. See, he's a good lad. Yes, please, son. Train driver, cup of tea. Right, so we're approaching Bishopstone. And I'm going to overshoot it. Although we are on quite a steep uphill gradient here. I believe we're uphill. The 377s actually have pretty good brakes. I mean, I'm coming in there step 3, which I shouldn't be doing. Everyone spilt their coffee. But it doesn't matter. With 4 cars, and we're heading for the S car marker, which we should be pretty much. Come on, there we go. Look at that. So, I'm going to do this properly today. When I stop, I like to go into neutral. Brake step 3. That's not essential, but that's just the way I prefer to drive. What have we got in the chat? Did you see the BML preview stream? I saw bits of it. It looks pretty impressive. I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting my hands on that. The 377 looks better in there. Yeah, I know they've got the 387 in there as well, which looks pretty good. But yeah, really looking forward. I've got the season ticket pass, so as soon as that comes out, I believe they said it was releasing on Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they said it was releasing on Thursday. Unfortunately, I'm working late shift all week on RHT turns and various other bits and bobs, so no playing it for me, I'm afraid. Right, why are we not moving? Because I haven't put it in forward. That does help, right. You should turn off the stop marker and colour stop marker. Do you know what? On the next trip we'll do that. We'll give that a go. Peter Green, I always find I have to drive it like I stole it to keep to the timetable and train sim. Well, maybe I'm just rubbish. No, I think some of the timetables can be a little bit tight in some of the sim games. Drive it safely. Timetable secondary. I know that may sound like something you wouldn't expect a train driver to say, but yeah, if I'm late, I'm late. I drive the train safely. This level crossing down here that we're just coming up to, you get a lot of people running in front of your train here. It sort of goes from a car park over to the beach. It's very well used. I've had a few near misses myself on that one. So I do sign this route down to Seaford. There's some disused platforms there. I've got no idea what that station was called. Someone in the chat will know. Yeah, nice try, Fishbowl. I'm not Mo Sislak. Let's get it down for that 20. Yeah, you find sometimes with the timetables and stuff, obviously, because you're not completely familiar with where all the speed limits are and where the stations are, you tend to find you're driving more gingerly anyway. I mean, there, for example, like, you know, miles away from the 20 and I'm down to 20. If you were driving this really, you'd have a good braking point, so you're doing 20 out of 20. Maxwell Shepherd, 10 tone, 10 tone. Lots of horns. So we're coming round into Newhaven Harbour. Haven't been down here for quite a long time in real life, but I reckon with the RHT season starting, I'll be down here a couple of times very soon. on time as well. We're not supposed to be here till 10:32, so we're doing well. And we're a 4 for the 4. In brake step 3, my driving is atrocious. That's close enough, 4 on the 4. So step 3, into neutral and open the doors. So what have we got going on here in the chat? Let's have a little look at this. Why is it 10 miles an hour into Lewes? Train parade 175. It's only 10 miles an hour into Lewes on the Brighton platforms. That's because of how tight the curve is and the fact the platform's very close to the track. You went through there too fast. You have something called a kinetic envelope, which is how much the train moves from side to side. You've got to have a certain amount of movement, a certain amount of room, so obviously suspension on the train. So it's 10 miles an hour because the kinetic envelope isn't large enough to allow the movement of the train at a higher speed, basically. Right, back into the game. Lock doors, off we go. I'm going to remember to put it into forward this time. And off we go. We use power on option 2 because we've only got to go up to 35 miles an hour. It's not a very long way to Newhaven town station. Someone asked me earlier on one of the videos in the comments what power notch I would use to accelerate away in a 377. On a dry rail, green signals with a high speed limit, you're just whacking it right at open power notch 4. It's got a computer on it, my track, traction control systems. Look at that, we're speeding. Never mind. Traction control systems and stuff, so if you open it right up, it'll generally sort itself out. It'll only give as much as it wants to. So the 7.4 you just went past on the left, the 7.4 and the white board with the black diamond, that's an old CSR marker board. So it's telling you the cab secure radio area was 7.4, the radio code for this area. Of course, with GSMR now that's all been shut down, but there's still the signs in place. Four on the 4, right on the S. Step 3, into neutral. Doors open. There's a nice scene there. How are we doing for lag, guys? Are we lagging out or are we doing okay today? Peter Green, do they check your speed and issue penalties? Good question, Peter. Driver managers used to stand outside with radar guns. You come around a corner and there'd be a driver manager there with a radar gun, similar to what they do with the police force, or the police do traffic enforcement. But with OTMR downloads and stuff like that, green signal, with OTMR downloads as the data recorders, they can sit in their office and check what speed you're doing as well. So they don't need to be out and about doing that anymore. So yeah, you're subject to random downloads as a train driver. And they'll be checking your speed, your braking, make sure if you're coming into every station using harsh braking and stuff like that, then you'll be penalised for that. It's 35 there. I've never understood this in real life, why the 35 lingers on for so long. There we go, it's a 66. My core traction. Driver managers love guns, officially Charles. You're putting it out there. So those of you who are in the Discord server, if you're not in the Discord server, then get in the Discord server, link in the description below. Will have seen that this week I was lucky enough to be passed competent on the Class 69 locomotive, so I'm now fully qualified to drive Class 69s. No rude jokes, please, keep it clean. Fishbowl, 69 tones, please. There you go. Yeah, now competent to drive Class 69s. I can't say too much about them because I don't think I'm allowed to at the moment, but they're pretty impressive. I know they're body snatchers and all, but they're pretty impressive. Stream looks good, crazy killer. So we've just gone past the coasting board there on the left. If you're running on time, coasting boards there basically tell you to shut off power, let the train coast just to save a bit of energy. William Newton, Dadrow, have you driven past Nuneaton, aka my local? No, I don't sign up that way at all. As far, I sign to Willesden Junction, that's as far north as I sign at the moment. So I'm going to use the AWS magnet here, or the spider even. There's my braking point for Southeast. K-Aging, thoughts on the Class 313? Yeah, what I've seen of the 313 so far looks really good. The Dovetail Games one. Yeah, really looking forward to getting my hands on that. So it's supposed to be at Southeast at 10:38. We're at 10:47, and yeah, we might be a few seconds late, but nothing too much to worry about there. I'm thinking about getting myself a rail driver controller. Has anyone in the chat got a rail driver controller? I'm sort of looking at second-hand ones on eBay. There's no way I'm paying full price for one, but it'd be really nice. So I get a bit confused with the buttons and stuff on here. Sometimes I find I'm pressing a button and it's not registering, and then you end up overshooting stations. Or at least that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, really interested in getting one. If anyone's got one, you've got any details about it, I'd really appreciate that. Because they are like, super expensive, but you can pick them up second-hand on eBay quite reasonably now. 4 on, yes. Step 3, into neutral, open the doors. Alfie Bright, have you ever been to Manchester Piccadilly? Yes, I've never driven a train in there, but I've been through there quite a few times. Alan Thompson, controllers, train sim controllers are so good. Yeah, Dovetail Games, if you're listening, because I have been in contact with you about helping you out. If you are watching this stream and you're listening, joystick support, please, in train sim. Come on. OpenBVE had joystick support like years ago. Come on, joystick support. It's got to be in there. It's a no-brainer. You know, let us use joysticks instead of having to pay stupid money for rail driver controllers. Let's get back to the game. Stop at location, Lewes, 2.8 miles. Off we go, full power. She's moving, baby. Is that Blasis? After you pass a speedball for an increase in speed, how do you know when the rear of the train has cleared before you accelerate? So the Class 66 and some other locomotives have got a train length counter in them, which is where you program the length of your train into the train length counter. You press the button as you go past the speedboard, and it'll beep at you as the rear of the train goes through. But normally, most passenger trains, it's just done on judgment, to be perfectly honest with you, so you've just got to use your best judgment as to when the back of the train's clear. In some places, on some speed restrictions, they do have marker boards that tell you when the back of your train's clear. A bit like the stock car marker boards at the stations. You've got boards like that that tell you when you're clear, but that's not a regular thing. It's more just using your judgment, to be fair. Yeah, the Crazy Killer, the power brake controls from Alan Thompson Sim, they look really good, and I'd like to be very interested to actually know what circuitry he's using inside there to get that to interface properly, because if you can just get hold of the circuit board that he's using to interface that'd be really good, because you can kind of build your own cabs and custom cabs then. I'm quite into some of the flight sim stuff. I've got a little flight sim cockpit set up with some SATEC instruments and display panels and radios and all that sort of thing. So yeah, the flight sim community is kind of really big with the simulator stuff, and it'd be really nice if you could get that kind of scene going with train sim as well. So if you can get a lot of third-party support and stuff like that, it would be absolutely epic, to be honest with you. Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam, one of my Patreon supporters. Hello, how are you, sir? What was the question? How realistic are the signals and stations compared to OpenBVE? I find the signalling in Open BVE is spot on, to be honest with you. It's yeah, it's bang on. The TPWS works correctly. You get TPW overspeeds approaching speed restrictions. I've said before, the graphics on it are not great, but the driving experience and the signalling systems and the way they're simulated, it's aimed at more of a simulator than a game. It's completely free as well, and I know I've said it before, guys. Go and download OpenBVE. You won't be disappointed. Unlike my manager in my driving. Approaching Sutherham Junction, goes 40-60, 40-60, 40-20, 10 is the next lot of speeds. I am going way too slow. Sim model trains, can you turn all the HUD off, like the stop markers and the next signal HUD? Yeah. To be honest with you, I only signed this route as far as Lewes, because then I turn right at Lewes and go up via Cooksbridge and Plumpton to Haywards Heath. So I don't sign the bit between Lewes and Brighton, and when we come back I don't sign Brighton pretty much all the way through to Eastbourne. I sign Willingdon Junction to Eastbourne, but I don't do Sutherham Junction to Eastbourne. So without actually going in and learning the route properly, it might be a little bit of a challenge to do that. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. TR9 train spotting, is it only GBRF that have got the Class 69? Yes. Converted from Class 56s, we've got 3 of them at the moment. They're a GBRF project, the whole conversion of them is a GBRF project. They are, yeah, I can't say too much about them, but I like them. I like them. They're very useful engines, or they will be. So we're coming round to Lewes. We've got the 20 and then the 10. So 20 starts there. You've got the arrow above the 10, which is basically telling us trains going across the junction to the left need to be doing 10 miles an hour. And that 10 will actually start as we go across the junction. Little bit over, but nothing we're going to lose any sleep over. William Newton, Dedra, have you been to Japan? I haven't been to Japan, but I would love to go to Japan. If you're paying, William, then we'll go tomorrow. Oh, we can't. I'm on an RHTT job tomorrow. Got to do my bit. 3 to 5 car stop marker. Overly cautious on the brakes there. I do find, guys, even like I thought that was my doors opening. Then it's the train next to me. Some of the sounds are good, but they're not sort of dubbed in very well. Like with the train opening its doors next to me, that shouldn't have been quite so loud and prominent. It sounded like my doors were opening. Through this game, ZLD Smugglers. Through this game, I learned the Brighton to Lewes route. Well done, my friend. There's kind of a whole thing about whether you can learn routes through playing train sim, and yeah, I think in some elements you can certainly learn where the stations are. You can learn various bits and bobs. You can learn where the speed limits are. I don't think it's a supplement as such. I don't think it's obviously a supplement for real route, and you need to go out there and do it properly. But to get a general idea of the route, then yeah, I think it's pretty good, and I've been very impressed with the routes I played at, just how accurate they are, to be completely honest with you. So let's get ourselves going. Lock doors, I'm sure I pressed the button. Come on. Stop at Falmer. Off we go then. I mean, Lewes does look absolutely gorgeous. They've made a really good job of that. mph. Now these trains are actually fitted with speed set control, so I could set the speed set there, going up the little bug to 10. You need to be in a power notch in order to set the speed set, and that will maintain 10 miles an hour now. Speed set won't brake for you, as you can see. Ah, I've done it again. There we go. Yeah, the speed set won't brake for you. It will slow the train down using the rear static brake, but it can't put the main air brakes on. So I'm using the speed set now, which is cheating. The sound mixing in Train Sim World 2 is so much better than in Train Sim 2020. Well, we're Train Sim 2022 now, Nitrax, I've just seen. Which is a little bit annoying because I bought Train Sim 2021 like 2 weeks ago. Now they've released 22. I know I get the update, but I don't get the routes or anything. And I don't know if I want to pay for the routes really on there because I'm. So we're going to get rid of the speed set there and off we go. Yeah, I don't really know if I want to pay for the extra routes on there. I'm quite enjoying Train Sim World. I mean, let me know what you'd like to see in the stream, guys. Would you like to see more Train Sim World routes? I've got the Southeastern High Speed and I can get some of the other ones. Or do you want to see more Train Sim 21, Train Sim Classic, I think we're calling it. Yeah, do you want more Train Sim World or Train Sim Classic? Let me know. And if anyone says SCR, I might press Alt and F4. No, seriously. Zero the Smugglers, the speed limit has gone up. Indeed it has, my friend. See, this is the... you know, we're not supposed to use electronic devices in cabs and stuff like that, and even like being in a live stream like this and looking at the chat, it can distract you so much from your driving. Peter Green, I hardly play Train Sim, now I have TSW2. TSW2, please play the German route. Yeah, I'd be quite interested to play the German route. I'm not quite sure how the German signalling and stuff works, but yeah, I'd be quite interested to maybe watch a few videos and learn that. And have a playthrough of that. William Newton, I want to see Train Sim Classic. We can do a bit of Train Sim Classic and a bit of Train Sim World. I honestly think with Train Sim Classic, it's got so much third-party content. There's so many routes, so many add-on packs, the Armstrong Powerhouse, and the likes of that's what keeps it alive, in my opinion. You know, the core engine of the game, I think, and you're probably going to hate me for this, is dead. Yeah, in my opinion, the core engine of the game is completely and utterly dead. It's outdated. It looks like it run on Windows XP, as someone told me the other day. But because it's got so much variety, you've got so many routes, so much DLC, you can make it look half decent with all the add-ons and stuff. And the fact everything integrates together really nicely with your routes and your custom routing and stuff. And I think that's what keeps it alive, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think Dovetail Games, you know, open up Train Sim World a bit more. Let's get some third-party support for Train Sim World. There's a lot of features in Train Sim Classic that you can integrate into Train Sim World. You know, the engine in this, the graphics are superb. The fact that you can get out and walk around is superb. You know, it'd just be really nice if we got some decent third-party add-ons. Because if you get Armstrong Powerhouse add-ons for Train Sim World, if you get the 375 to work or 377 to work just how it should, then you know you're onto a winner. But I think until you get that, then there's a place for both games, and I think Dovetail Games they're obviously in the business of making games and making money. You know, and all the time they can get people like me buying both games. I guess they're going to do that. German safety systems are fun. PZB is brutal. LZB, yeah. See, you've completely lost me there. I have very little knowledge of German signalling systems. I know they work on speed signalling rather than routing signalling like we do in the UK. You get what looks like a theatre box with a number, and that's your maximum permitted speed on certain routes. I know that much about German signalling, but I'd have to go and watch a few videos on it and watch some other people's streams. William Newton, I want to see NIMBY Rails. What's NIMBY Rails? I don't know that one. So a good breaking point for Falmer is just as you go into the tunnel. So you get the gradient here, takes it out for you quite nicely as well. There we go, into brake step 1. A lot of the devs don't want to develop for Train Sim World though, is an issue. Yeah, I suppose all the time there's so much content for Train Sim Classic, you know, that they've got to develop for what people are buying, I guess. I think as well a lot of the when new products are developed, they rely on a lot of the other stuff. They use a lot of the assets from the other projects. So if those assets already exist in Train Sim Classic, then it's easier for them to develop for Train Sim Classic. That's a lovely bit of stopping coming in there. We'll get a bit of brake step 2 in. So the other thing with turning off the stop car marker there is obviously not knowing where the markers are on the platform. Some platforms they could be at the end, some platforms they're in the middle, some platforms they could be right close to the start of the platform. So without sort of the exact route knowledge of where all the stop car markers and stuff, it makes it a little bit more challenging. I don't want to embarrass myself too much. I've done that enough with the spads and stuff in the previous streams. There we go, 4 on the 4 into neutral, open the doors. Train Sim World development is indeed a lot more intensive and a lot more detailed, says Sharky1213. Yes. Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot more to it, because obviously where you can get out the cab and walk around, you've got to kind of integrate that into it, and everything's got to be a lot more detailed for that reason. ZLD Smogs, don't get me started on American signalling. I watched the game about American signalling a little while ago. A game, he says. I watched a video about American signalling a little while ago, and yeah, they have like dwarf signals and other bits and bobs. It does look really, really complicated. But yeah, you know, just I suppose the only way to learn is to try these things and give them a go. Right, let's get the train going. There we go, and back to the game. Cup of tea in my Mickey Mouse cup. Talking of Mickey Mouse cups, if you want an exclusive Dad Rail cup, you can head over to Patreon, www.patreon.com/dadrail. Exclusive content, exclusive benefits, and if you sign up for an ops manager, join the Dad Rail train crew as an ops manager, after 3 months you get an exclusive mug, after 6 months you get a t-shirt, after 9 months you get something else, and after 12 months you get a hoodie. Come join the Dad Rail train crew over on Patreon. You could be a shunter, conductor, driver, ops manager. Exclusive benefits and contents. It's all over there. I'm not going to rabbit on about it. Thank you very much to the people that have already joined me on Patreon. It's really appreciated. It means I can buy more DLC and stuff like that, and put more content out, and keep my wife happy, which is the tricky bit. Right, so we're coming towards Moulsecoomb. It's got a really short platform at Moulsecoomb. As we come towards the viaduct here, is a good place to be getting the brake in. Jay Callow, please explain the notches and pulling away. Let's get stopped at Moulsecoomb, Jay, and I will certainly do that for you. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about the notches and pulling away? I did talk briefly about it earlier. (40 over 55 differential speeds), as I said before. 55 applies to passenger trains, 40 applies to freight trains. A little bit more to it than that. The lower speed actually applies to class 4, 6, 7 and 8 trains. Class 1, 2, 3s and 5s use the bottom speed, and light locos use the bottom speed, which is the higher speed. Yeah, the gradient really runs away if you hear it at Moulsecoomb. It's just caught me out there nicely. But we got the brakes back to 1 for the stop, which is good. Into 3, into neutral, open the doors. Would love to see a Welsh route on Train Sim World, like North Wales coastal route. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see a lot more routes on Train Sim World. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Sharky, I'm still hoping for a Dutch route one day. Dutch signalling is really intuitive. You're virtually never going to need to guess, remember what's happening. That sounds quite good. Anyway, Jay, I did say about explaining the notches, so I'm just going to jump back into the game right here and have a look at the controller. Lock doors. no starting signal, we're good for 55. And we've got our interlock, into forward, and off we go. So typically on a route like this, I'm pulling away, as you can see, in full power. And basically it is 25%, 50%, 75% and 100% power. So normally you want to get up to speed as quickly as you can. So if you've got a dry rail, you're running on clear signals, and you've got a high speed limit, you just whack it right open into power notch 4. If you're starting against a single yellow signal, meaning the signal after the station's red, that's a high risk situation. So a lot of companies have policies in place where the maximum power notch you can take up the station's power notch 2. If the speed limit's low, say you've only got to accelerate to 25 miles an hour, you might choose to use power notch 1 or power notch 2. Shunting in a yard, power notch 1. If the rails are a bit slippery, you might start off in power notch 1, wait till it accelerates, then give it power notch 2, wait a bit longer, then into power notch 3, so on and so forth, just to make sure there's enough traction there to keep it going. Generally speaking, if you whack it right open, the computer's just going to give it as much power as it wants. You're not suddenly going to start wheel speeding and stuff. The computer's going to control how much power it's given to the wheels. So yeah, brake step 1, 2 and 3 is you've got 33%, 66%. Actually, I think it's 30%, 60%, 90%, and the emergency is 100%. But yeah, you don't want to be. This is the first time I've stopped at London Road Station, incidentally. Oh, are we going to overshoot? Are we going to overshoot? Are we going to overshoot? Is he going to need emergency? Yes, he is. So what are we doing? And I can't release for emergency until we've stopped, which is correct. How close to the stop car mark are we? So I'm going to be a diligent driver here because we're not quite on it. I just want to check the back of the train. Back of the train's on the platform, so we've got away with that. Which is exactly what I'd do if I was driving in real life. Wouldn't be opening the doors until I'd checked that we were on the platform fully. Close that up. Yeah, you want to be using. I think I've said it in all the streams so far. You want to be using no more than brake step 1, brake step 2 when you come into stations. If you come into every station, brake step 3, you've got nothing in reserve. Just like that, really. You end up in emergency. So we've had no SPADs, no station overruns, but we've had an emergency brake application. So we're doing really well. Lock doors. Depot whistle. Stop at location Brighton. So I'm going to use power notch 2 here because we're going up to 30 miles an hour, so I don't really need to be whacking that wide open because I'll just be shutting off immediately anyway. Crazy killer is, there are the consequences of using the emergency brake, don't you have to call the signaller? It depends on your company's driving policy. There's nothing specific in the rulebook about that. The company I worked for used to have a policy that if you used the emergency brake you had to report it. What they then found was, and I think I mentioned this in the previous stream, what they then found was people were really reluctant. Look at that, it's beautiful. People were really reluctant to use the emergency brake because they had to report it. And we had a couple of SPADs, signals past the danger, which could have been avoided if drivers had used the emergency brake. But rather than using the emergency brake and having to report it, they'd just used brake step 3, hoping to get away with it, and consequently gone past the signal. So what they realised was by telling drivers you've got to report it, you were deterring people from using it. So that the policy changed with that company. I mean, most of you know who that company is. They're a company that have been, you know, found out for doing £25 million worth of whatever's happened. I haven't got a clue really. 25 million taxpayers' money. But yeah, what they found was basically, yeah, you're discouraging people from using it. It's there to be used. If you need it, use it. Basically, so they took away the need to report it. But if you were coming into every station, if you were downloaded by your manager and you'd had 3 or 4 emergency brake applications in one day where you'd been coming into stations too fast, definitely going to have something to say about that, and you're definitely going to be in trouble because it's not a good way to drive. But if you need it, use it. But that's not universal. So each company has a different policy on that. See, this annoys me now because we don't have TPWS. There should be a 10 mile an hour TPWS loop approaching the buffer stops, and it's just not there. It doesn't exist, which really annoys me a little bit. We'll drive it properly anyway. We'll assume it's there. Incidentally, if you're approaching buffer stops and you trip the TPWS loops, That's the one time you're allowed to move the train without contacting in the signal. You're allowed to reset it, move it up to the buffer stops, and then contact the signaller. At any other time, you have to contact the signaller before you move the train. So you should be stopping 6 foot away from the buffer stops is what the standard is. 6 foot or 2 metres. Which is probably somewhere around there. Right, we go brake step 3. We're going to set our DRA because obviously the buffer stop is classed as a red signal. Into neutral and open the doors. And we're going to set our tail lights to off, marker lights to off, headlights to off, tail lights to on, and we can then shut down the cab. No, we don't want the window, we want the door. There we go, we are at Brighton. Shut the door before we go. Can we do train terminates here on my track? Maybe let's do that. Ah, it's kicking me out. What have we done score-wise? That's not a bad score. We'll take that. We'll take that. Return to free roam. Can we do train terminating here? No, it doesn't look like we can. That's a shame. It'd be really nice if we had some proper PIS announcements on there as well. That would be superb. But alas, it's not enough. Right, let's zoom out. That was a bit weird. With the obviously they're releasing the rush hour pack as well, which includes lots of updates and lots of modifications on the way people look. Apparently there's going to be more variety in the way people look, there's going to be more people about, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks on the Brighton mainline route. And I believe they were saying they're going to implement that on the other routes as well. That's going to come as part of an update, so it'll be really good to see how that works. If you drive a peak time train, you should be seeing a lot more people on the platforms and stuff, which would be really interesting to see how they pull that off and how they execute that. Sim Model Train says, do you have to set the DRA? It's not like you're going to apply power and smash into the buffer. No, rule book requirement, entering or leaving a cab, you have to set the DRA. So if you're entering or leaving a cab, always set the DRA. That's the rule. If you always set it when you leave, there should be no need to set it when you enter. But yeah, that's how the DRA should be left. So, we're going to do a service over to Eastbourne. It's a real shame as well that they're not going to integrate this, or they apparently can't integrate this with the... They can't integrate this with the Brighton mainline service. Although 11:15 to London Victoria. Is that an aeroplane just gone over? Oh, it's a bird. It looked like an aeroplane up there. 11:15 to London Victoria. I'm just wondering what would happen if we waited till 11:15 and got on this train. Maybe there's like an Easter egg they've left. Maybe there's like a little preview train that we could actually get on. Ooh, what do you reckon? Train sim world is quite easy on points. You will get a gold medal even doing some mistakes in the run. I never make mistakes. Yeah, I just wonder if this train's actually going to go up to London and they have integrated the routes. It's 11:15 London Victoria. No, surely not. Surely not, boys and girls. Sprinting down the platform, you'll never see a driver running. Unless he's going for his going home train. You might see a driver running. Just wanted to have a look at Brighton Station, yeah. It does look fantastic. It looks superb, it really does. The doors look a bit flat. Paper thin, yeah. That's a good point, actually. Right, let's go and see if we've got a train heading back towards Eastbourne. Sharky 1213, you'll go out of bounds with a edge of represented area, yeah. That's what I'd imagine would happen. I mean, really nice if they'd put a little Easter egg in there in a recent update and just kind of left it as a little preview. If anyone caught the stream, was it Thursday they said that we were due for the release of the Rush Hour pack? Because that's going back to Seaford. We don't want to go there. What have we got going to Eastbourne? Lewes 11:22. No, we don't want to go back there. Right, let's do that, and I'll see if I can find a run back to Eastbourne to have a go at. Settings, main menu, where are we? That one there. We'll have a bit of rain in this one as well. If you get in the cab of the London Victoria train, it will say you do not have permission to drive this service. Ah. Okay. Peter Green, yeah, Thursday. Fantastic. I love the chat window on the side here. I'm thinking about overlaying that on the actual game stream, but I think it might get in the way a bit. Right, so you can't see my screen, but I can. Explore timetable. Let's add some rain in there. Not too much, a little bit of cloud and a lot of wind. See what that does. Thursday, the 7th of October. Why are all the toilets locked on Train Sim World 2? Very good question. Very good question. No idea. That's a good question though. Brighton to or via Eastbourne. Semi-fast service. Should we do a semi-fast? Yeah, let's do a semi-fast. Let's treat ourselves. Aviation, are you going to play Brighton Mainline when it releases? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I would like to have done a live stream on it as soon as it come out. But unfortunately, I'm going to be driving a proper RHTT train that day, so that's not going to happen. I'm probably not going to be able to stream for the next week or so now because of my work schedule. But I'm going to probably try and... I mean, I could do a daytime stream, but I think a lot of people are at work and at school, so I don't think it would get any views. But I'm certainly, as soon as I can, I want to do a stream on it and just do a review of the route. Because I sign Brighton. I don't actually sign all the way to London Victoria. I turn off at Clapham Junction and go up to Kensington, Olympia and Willesden. But I want to do a review over the route and just kind of give my opinion on how it looks. It's a real shame as well they couldn't integrate the two routes together and give us the bit from Haywards Heath, Withersfield, Cooksbridge, Plumpton down to Lewes and join on there, and then you could go along to Eastbourne. But I guess, yeah, it is what it is, and we've just got to... it is what it is, yeah, we've just got to deal with that, which is a bit of a shame, really. What else have we got? Can you do the rail tour service? Is there a rail tour service? I didn't know there was a rail tour service. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. What head code are you running? Let's jump back in the game. And that should answer that question. 2 Golf 26 we are doing. 4 cars. We are bound for Eastbourne. And we're going to hit begin. Unlock doors. Now, why this train would have its doors unlocked? Unless it's just coming from the sidings, it would have its doors unlocked. So, before we key in, let's get our safety systems in. AWS, DRA, not doing the DSD. Key in, into neutral, open the doors. Now if we're doing this properly, we're going to do a full brake test. Now, we'll do it and then I'll explain what I was going to say. So the first thing you do, you go into emergency and you want to check your registering 4-bar, which we're not. You come back to brake step 3, which we're not. Back to 2. Back to 1, which is not working. Into off, checking it's releasing, which is not working. So yeah, we can't do a brake test. So they may be running what the modified software on here, which I'll explain briefly in a second. So where are we actually going? Oh, we're stopping at Falmer, Lewes, Blind, Polegate. That doesn't sound like a semi-fast service to me. Never mind. Off we go. So basically, when I first started driving Electrostars 377s, 375s, every time you got into a cab you'd have to do a brake test. So that would consist of, you go into emergency, check you've got 4-bar on the brake gauge, into 3, into 2, oh I forgot we turned the rain on. I'm going to put some wipers on. Into 3, into 2, into 1, then you release the brake and apply it, just check that works. You then test your hill start button, which is the little button on the side of the controller there. You then check your emergency brake plunges, and then you do a DSD test. So you'd put your foot on the DSD pedal, put the train to forward. You'd then release the pedal. You'd get the alarm going off the beep 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 beep. You'd wait for that to time out after 7 seconds. You'd watch excuse me, you'd watch the emergency brakes come on, and then you'd release them again. So just a full brake test. But they'd done about 6 months before I left my previous employer and stopped driving these. They'd done a software modification on them, which meant as soon as the doors were opened on the train, you automatically got a full emergency, full brake application on them. So all the time the doors were open, you couldn't release the brakes to do the brake test. So they took it out the rule. They took it out the operating instructions. You were then only required to do a brake test when you took a train out of the depot first thing in the morning. So every morning before the train goes out the sidings or anything, it gets fully prepped. So you walk around the outside of the train, you check all the systems inside it. Make a good video actually. And that's when you do your brake test, and it was only required to be done once a day. You'd still do what they used to call a running brake test, which is when you start driving, you then apply the brakes just to check they're physically working, and it's a running brake test. The rain effects look pretty good actually, I would say. I wonder if we get any wheel slip if we open it up. If you get wheel slip, you should see the traction sound button should light up, because the 377, 375 will only offer you and allow you to put traction sound down once it detects wheel slip. It won't let you do it just for the sake of doing it. Did I set my lights? No, I didn't. Again, on the real unit, my track would have started beeping at me there, would have come up headlights not set in leading cab. So don't forget guys, whilst I've got you all here as well, I'm going to do this. Social media, facebook.com/Dabrowell, twitter.com/Dabrowell. It'd be absolutely great to see you over there, if you can. Go on there, like the page. And of course, guys, join our community over on Discord. We've got a really good community over on Discord. In actual fact, we can go live to Discord and see what they're rabbiting on about. There we go, Luke Govers, DB60s at Totten. DJC Lang is another driver that I work with, top bloke. Yeah, that's the Discord community. So if you're not in the Discord community, there's a link in the description below. You can head over to the Discord and join in our conversation. So we've just gone through Moulsecoomb. Now I find this a bit disconcerting actually, because my AWS is showing clear, yet it's showing that my next signal's red, and I haven't been past the yellow signal because my AWS would be lit up if I'd been past the yellow signal. So why that's showing my next signal as red, I've got absolutely no idea, but that's certainly not very accurate. So at risk of running the red signal and ending the game, I'm just going to keep the speed down a little bit. So I am kind of, there we go, we've got green. And I've pressed the wrong button and gone into brake, which is why I want a round drive. So where are we off to? We're off to Falmer. Cody SJ, no, you would never isolate a safety system unless you're in a situation you would be allowed to do so. Yeah, if you isolate a safety system, you're phoning control straight away. You'd never isolate a safety system without authority. The only exception is TPWS in certain circumstances. There's about 3 or 4 circumstances you can isolate TPWS without authority. For example, if you're on a freight train making a propelling move into a yard, you can isolate it. If you're in a T3 possession, you can isolate it. Assisting a failed train, you can isolate it. There's a kind of a temporary block working, or it's not called that, is it? Emergency special working is now called. You can isolate it without permission. But that's done on the temporary isolation switch, which I'll show you when we stop. That wouldn't be isolating it via the switches you've just seen. Isolating any other safety system, then yeah, you'd need to get permission from control. You'd basically phone up the signalman and be authorised to isolate that safety system. Once you've isolated a safety system, 4 on 4, brake step 3, neutral. Depending on what safety system you've isolated, you then have to abide by the speed restrictions. For example, if you've isolated TPWS, you need to travel at, so I'm going to get this wrong, 40 miles an hour. unless you've got a competent person with you, then you can travel at line speed. You can only isolate so many safety systems. It's a real minefield, and it's definitely something we can explore in a future video about safety systems and speed restrictions and stuff, because it is an absolute minefield. So yeah, you've got your temporary TPWS isolation switches there. Does it? It works. So as you can see, then we get... No, it doesn't work. So you put that in the isolate position. We should get a light come on there. Temporary isolation full, but it doesn't seem to work. So the button does nothing. Okay, right. Lock doors off. Okay. Stop at Lewes, got a green signal. See, are we going to get a bit of wheel slip? Oh, there we go. Yeah, we've got traction sound lights come on, so I can press that now. Kind of see it having some effect as well, which is pretty good. Yeah, because we're slipping now, I'm going to shut the power back to power notch 2 just to get a bit of traction. And there we go, she's pulling away a lot better now. Oh, that's good that they've simulated that. I don't know if they simulated it under braking conditions, which would be pretty good. Yeah, the temporary isolation fault lights come on as well now. I was turning it the right way. Train Parade 175 other way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was turning it the right way. Just they've wired it in backwards. It's come from Selhurst Depot. This unit they've wired it in backwards. If you work at Selhurst Depot, I'm very sorry. They did have a habit on these units for a little while of wiring the horns in backwards. So you pushed it up and got a low tone, pulled it down and got a high tone. That was quite a common one they used to do. So yeah, so I better put the TPWS back in. We got a cab light. There should be a cab light switch just down here somewhere. Oh, I can't see it. There should be another one there. Yeah, cab light switch should be down there. There it is. Yeah, it works. And there should be one down there. Yeah, just couldn't get it. Yeah, normal isolate. So normal, and it stays on. Put it in the isolate position, and it goes off. Yeah, so the switch. Yeah, the switch is backwards. The switch is backwards. And we're speeding. Right, let's not speed. It's a really steep downhill gradient going towards Lewes, so I dropped the speed to 65, and then just let it coast up to 70, and then drop it down again. If we try and keep it at 70, we constantly brakes on, brakes off, brakes on, brakes off, which is not very comfortable for the passengers. And we do worry about our passengers. We care deeply and conscientiously about our passengers as train drivers. Of course we do. Of course, everything I say is my own opinion. As we're talking about passengers, I better say that. So what's going on in the chat? What do we got? We're doing alright. We can chat for a minute. Press L for cab light. Thank you, Chris. There we go. Right, I'm going to remember that one. I was travelling on a 334 Juniper today in the wet weather and could hear it slipping all over the place. Yeah, it's quite a distinctive sound when they start slipping. And when they brake, especially in multiple units, if you hear like sound effects now, that's kind of the wheel slip protection working, where it's releasing the brakes to try and keep the wheels turning. It's a bit like ABS on a car. If you hear like it means that the train's slipping. Especially now going into the autumn, silly season, leaves on the line and all of that malarkey. I think that'd be a good topic for a video, you know, leaves on the line. Jay Keller, I think most drivers put it in neutral so they can give their feet a rest from holding down the pedal. Jay, if you went into neutral while you were going along, it would chuck the emergency brakes in. Cool, we got a bit of flooding there. There's a whole rulebook module on flooding. We're going to be speeding now because I'm paying attention to the chat and not me driving. There's a whole rulebook module on flooding and different speeds you can go during flooding conditions and stuff. But that's probably a good thing for a video. When I say it's probably a good subject for another video. What it actually means is I can't remember what the rules are and I need to look them up. Probably need to concentrate on my driving a little bit more now, don't I? I'm not doing too well. Oh, we've got landslips going on. Reported to control. Sim models, do you think Heritage Railway should be allowed a speed increase, especially now that some are Mark III coaches which can go 110 miles an hour? I don't know too much about the Heritage scene, to be honest with you. I think they're limited to 25. I think that's a lot. That's due to the fact that they don't have all the safety systems that we've got on the main line and stuff like that. But I'm not sure exactly why that is, that they're limited to 25. I mean, the thing about Heritage Rail is, do you really want to be... I mean, most of them are not particularly long. Do you really want to be bombing along at that sort of speed? You know, you want to kind of enjoy it, I guess. Oh, I meant when stopped with the... yeah. Yeah, you put it in neutral when stopped. Some people do, some people don't. I used to. But again, yeah, completely personal preference. Turn as we come into Lewes. Look at that for speeding. We are going to get a terrible score. What time are we supposed to be there? Yes, so we're even running late. That's probably because I was coming in so slow, to be fair. We got agreed to go out the other side, though. We should have a rainbow, shouldn't we? Look, nice blue sky and jumping down. Somewhere... No, I'm not going to sing on the strings. I mustn't do that. I do sing when I'm driving in real life sometimes, though. Get a bit bored sometimes to start singing. Keeps you awake. 4 and 4, giving away all my secrets. That's close enough. Into 3, neutral, doors. This Peter Green, this stream is running beautifully in comparison to the last one. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad we got the technical difficulty sorted out for sure. It was pretty bad last time. I know. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. Peter Green, trainbow. Yes, absolutely, trainbow. That's what we need. Dadra, I want an apology. I'm very sorry. I'm not sure what I'm apologising for, but I'm very sorry. Southeast Rail Production, heritage lines are limited by the OOR. The faster you go, the faster parts wear out on the locos. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Right, let's get back to the game, boys and girls. Right, green signal. Last time I left here, the TPWS fired off, so I don't know if that's a problem with the game or not, but we'll soon find out. Let's go into forward. So yeah, because we're only going up to 10 miles an hour, I'm only using power notch 2. Power notch 1 would have been fine, to be honest with you as well. Are we going to get TPWS activation, or is it going to work? No, we seem to be working today. Yeah, the rain looks nice in the cab, but it doesn't look nice from outside the cab. That looks pretty horrendous, if I'm being completely honest with you. That really does. Stephen, I work at Sellers as a shunt driver and you dissed my fellow colleagues. Yeah, but I've heard what you fitters say about drivers. Never a problem with the unit, just a problem with the driver. I did apologise at the time. They do good work. They do good work. I don't actually sign the depot at Sellers, but I sign through the I sign the reception road. So you come in off from Norwood. You come in from Gloucester Road Junction. Across Windmill Bridge at the top. depot. You come Gloucester Road round from West Croydon and you come into the depot. The Arrivals Road, Selhurst Arrivals Roads, I think they're called. I need a refresher. Right, off we go. Straight on this time. Where are we going? We're going to Glide. There we go. Let's get it going. Matthew Rice, how do you know when to stop at a station in the dark? You've got headlights on the trains. They're not particularly good, but it purely comes down to route knowledge. I'm going to do a whole video on route knowledge, just how important that is. You can be doing 90, 100 mile an hour in thick fog and still stop perfectly at stations with zero visibility. Yeah, it purely comes down to route knowledge. So we're coming back across Southern Junction. Position 4 there takes you down to Seaford. That's where we just come from. Thought we crossed the junction, which obviously we're not worrying about now. And let's get her going, boys and girls. Let's get her going. 42 on the left there. That's another one of those cab radio markers I was talking about earlier. It's on the old CSR radios. It would beep at you and automatically change over to the new area. Well, that's what it was supposed to do. Chris White, did you ever drive a Class 43? No, unfortunately not. I would love to have had a go on a Class 43. A couple of rides in one. I did cab one a few weeks ago. It was in the depot. It was in Eastleigh Works. It doesn't really count. But yeah, I've ridden behind a few 43s. Do you ride behind a 43? I suppose in between a couple of 43s would be the right terminology. Yeah, beautiful locomotives. There's a couple. The Rail Adventure ones are over in Germany at the moment. HST Howard on YouTube's got a video of those. One of my former colleagues. It's quite weird seeing. I bet you some brakes in here, aren't we? Quite weird seeing a 43 over in Germany, I must say. I saw the Rail Adventure ones when they were down in Eastleigh Works, so yeah, pretty weird seeing those in Germany. Yeah, the quality of driving today is atrocious. Brake step 3. If you need it, use it, but again, it's not really good practice to be doing so. Adverse weather conditions, that's what I'm blaming. Into 3, into neutral, and onwards. Matthew Rice, what is the oldest train you have driven? Officially, the oldest train I've driven would be a Class 73, built in the 1960s. I should be driving one of those tomorrow. Actually, I'm going down the Upfield line and various other places. Welcome Luke Baker to Dad Rail, who has just subscribed. Could be watching another video, but it pops up in the stream anyway. Imagine A-Force top of tail HST style. Oh, that's hellfire. Now you're talking. Night tracks. If you get a job with DWI, you might still be able to drive one. They're nice trains, even in shortened form. Yeah, I think Cross Country is still running them out at the moment as well. I think you've got the Castle sets. I saw some down at Dawlish last year, HSTs. Funnily enough, not when I went down to Dawlish to film. I didn't see any when I went to film. I saw some when I went down for a day trip for my family, which was a little bit annoying. If you've seen my Dawlish video, you know exactly what I'm talking about there. Right, so we're off to Polegate. We've got quite a run now. And we're 90 miles an hour. It does drop to, I think it drops to 80 or 85, slipping away. It does drop to 80 or 85 at Berwick, so we just need to be aware of that. This bit of route between Southern Junction and Willingdon Junction is on my list of routes to learn, hopefully this year. Because I signed from Ashford all the way across the Marsh Link to Eastbourne. Obviously I signed down to Seaford to Southern Junction, but I don't sign this little bit in the middle, so it'd be really nice to get that little bit in the middle of my route card. Quite useful as well. So I think we're good to go. Yeah, she's got her feet down. She's running. I don't know if I like the way the rain looks on the side of the windows there. It's like the windows have been smashed. It's like they've all shattered. Only on the first coach though, no rain on the other coaches. Did you see that? Second coach, no rain, just the first one. Come on, Dovetail game, sort it out. Just looking at the wipers on the front there as well. Oh yeah, look, when the wipers go across, they don't actually clear the windscreen on the outside as well. So, am I just being picky now? Possibly just being a bit picky. Will you be passing over the Oxted Viaduct tomorrow, Dave Cannon? Yes, I will be passing over the Oxted Viaduct tomorrow. I certainly will. Maxwell Shepherd, Dadrail streams, controls iPad and iPhone. Yeah, if you're interested in what I'm using on a technical level, I've got Stream Deck on my iPad, which has got lots of things programmed into it, which allows me to do stuff like this. I just press a button to get an overlay that I've programmed in. You know, we can go straight to Discord where someone's been posting lots of nice pictures. If you're not on the Discord, guys, link in the description. Lovely 66 Cromptons. That's quite possibly. Is that the Spa Valley Railway? Someone will know in the chat where that is. No, I don't think that is. They haven't had a 66 down there. Someone will know in the chat where that is. But yeah, I've got a Stream Deck set up on my iPad, so I just press buttons and it changes scenes and does little overlays and stuff. You can turn the camera on and off like that. I've got privacy mode on now. Press that, it shuts the microphone down and stuff. Yeah, and for the actual web camera, I'm using my iPhone plugged into the computer using a bit of software called EpoCam or something like that. And I've got a blue Snowball microphone in front of me there. I've got a bit of delay set up as well because the phone has like a 2-second delay on it before you get the audio, so I've got to delay the microphone set up so that the audio is slightly delayed, so it should be more or less in sync, hopefully. Talking of which, can you guys all hear? Can you hear the game okay? Do you want the volume level on the game turned up, or is the game audio okay? I can turn it up a little bit if you want to hear the train a bit more. Why has absolutely everybody, had a different relative who has driven the Flying... Oh, I know someone that used to drive the Flying Scotsman. No. No, seriously, yeah, you speak to any old railway person, so, oh yeah, you used to drive the Flying Scotsman, yeah. Yeah. I think when they refer to Flying Scotsman, they don't mean the locomotive, they mean the service. The service that was often called the Flying Scotsman. Flying Scotsman is a magnet for trespass incidents, yeah. Sound is fine, audio is good, audio is all spot on, game audio is fine, fantastic, perfect. We're going through Berwick. I thought there was a speed restriction there. There is in the up direction, obviously not in the down direction. It's perfect, fantastic. We've almost had a stream with no technical difficulties. Almost. We haven't quite finished yet though. We've had lots of speeding. The driving's been atrocious, but the string's been good. Ah, there's an 80. Oh, I knew there was one somewhere. There you go, straight back up to 90. 80, then 90. No idea what that's all about. Absolutely no idea what that's all about. Steve Enderman, what traction do you sign? Currently class 66s, class 73, 73 9s. And as of yesterday, class 69s. I'm one of only about 6 or 7 people that sign those at the moment. They are, I can't say too much about them, but they're impressive. That's all I'm going to say. Maxwell, I saw Flying Scotsman a few weeks ago. Miniature Loco, yeah, okay. I've never seen the Flying Scotsman. Actually, no, tell a lie. I saw it when it was in the National Railway Museum about, must have been nearly 20 years ago, and it was in pieces. That's the only time I've seen it. I've never seen it out and about in steam. Crouching Tiger. Ironically, I have driven the Flying Scotsman. Yeah, alright then. We believe you. Dudrow, are you going into East Grinton tomorrow? I might see you from the Bluebell Line platform. Do you know what? I'm not sure if I am going to East Grinton tomorrow. I think I might be. I can't remember where I'm going. I'm definitely going down the Upfield line. I'm definitely going from Upfield up to Hurst Green. But I don't know if I'm going down to East Grinton. But quite possibly. Quite possibly. Right, we're going quite fast, so we're going to get some braking for Polegate. Dave Cannon, when driving, how do you remember what stations you're stopping at? You'd have your schedule card, a little piece of paper, and you just have that in front of you. And then most drivers will cross off the stations as you stop at them. Yeah, we want to get a bit of braking there, that's coming up really quick. See, I'm doing something really bad here as well, fanning the brake between 1 and 2. You want to kind of pick your brake and then leave it there. Going on and off constantly is not good. I've completely misjudged that. It's the rain. It's slippery gov. I think we're going downhill as well. I can't see the gradient indicator. My phone that I'm using for cameras in the way. We're on time though, so we'll take that. Look, 2 and 3 car stop marker there, so we could have. If we're not paying attention there, we can quite easily on stop short incident. Stop car mark. Oh, there's the 4. Well, we're definitely in. Perhaps you target hidden Adam. What happens if you miss a station? You just need to phone up and report it to the signalman. Depending on how much you've missed it by, they may allow you to set back into the station, they may not. It depends on the day, on the service frequency, what's behind you, lots of things. I remember years ago when I was working on the platform at Tunbridge, we had a train. Hildenborough was a common one for being missed when I was working at Tunbridge, and I was on the platform and it was peak time and we had a train come in, the driver had failed to stop at Hildenborough. And the commuters got off the train and they were not best pleased, and I was in the firing line. Yeah, not pleasant at all. So, I mean, what they done in that situation was Control actually arranged for the next up service, which should have been fast to Sevenoaks. They arranged for that to stop additionally at Hildenborough to drop the passengers off. But as a driver, yeah, if you miss a station, it's certainly not a good thing. It's certainly going down on your records as an incident. Well, you're not likely to lose your job over missing a station or anything like that. And you get taken off track and med-screened, Stephen Edelman says. Yeah, not necessarily. You're not always going to get med-screened, Stephen, to be fair. It depends on what company you're working for and who your manager is and stuff. If you've simply misread your diagram or something, you know, it's not necessarily reason to med-screen you. It used to be standard practice that you got med-screened after every incident, but I think that's changed a little bit now. So 35 coming out of Polegate. They haven't got the old station. There's the old Polegate station, which is a pub, which is the old Polegate station on the left, which they've missed out. Because you used to have what was called the Cuckoo line that went from here, went up to Heathfield and Tunbridge Wells West. Part of it is the Spa Valley Railway now. Off we go, we're up to 70. We get a little bit of 80, then back down to 70, then 55, 25, 15 into Eastbourne. Pete Green, I've only been on one station that missed a station. Everyone got up for Westmoreland and we sailed right through about 80 miles an hour. People weren't happy and the driver was very apologetic. At the end of the day, we're only human, we all make mistakes. It's a damned inconvenient mistake. I didn't miss a station, but I did overshoot a platform. But I'm not allowed to talk about that on here, unfortunately. But yeah, I overshot a platform. I never missed a station, and I was sort of working out what you do. I mean, I was driving passenger trains for 6-7 years, and I'm thinking, you know, we're doing. I forget how many it was, but like, I was a mainline driver. Obviously, the metro guys do a lot more. But it's like you're doing 30, 40, 50 station stops a day in a shift, and then you times that by the number of shifts you work a week, times by, and I'd reckon I'd probably done like something like 30 or 40,000 station stops accurately. So you know, if you miss one station out of 30 or 40,000, you're not doing too bad, to be honest with you. You know, every station missed an inconvenience. I get that, but you know, it's a high level of accuracy. You could look at that like signals as well. Touch wood. I've never been involved in a category A SPAD. That was my fault. And the amount of signals I've stopped at and gone through, you know, you could look at that. It's like, you know, the level of accuracy if you're driving is pretty bang on. Hampden Park, which was my local station for many years because I lived just up the road from Hampden Park. So they've actually modelled this area of track really well. I'm actually really impressed with this bit. I know this area quite well. That's actually a Sainsbury's there, and the building looks spot on. It's a shame they're not allowed to use the actual IPs on there and actually put the logos on. I think some of the add-ons they've had problems with that, where they haven't been able to get authority to use the IPs for the add-ons. So you don't, in official add-ons, you don't really see much GBRF traction. It all seems to be DB traction. It's just what licenses they can get and stuff like that. So we are going to drop down to 55 in a minute. Bang on for the 55. 2 yellows, that actually puts us all the way into Eastbourne. The next one's got a theatre box on it, where the 25 starts, and that will give us our platform for terminating at Eastbourne. Don't forget, guys, if you do want to join the Dad Rail train crew and support me on Patreon, then that would be absolutely fantastic. Some of these DLCs and add-ons are getting very expensive. But no, seriously, we've got there's some exclusive content on there as well. There's quite a few benefits and stuff. So if you do want to, from £2 a month, to become a shunter, everything really does help. Really supports me to keep these streams going. Yeah, so any support if you want to. Patreon.com/dadrail. Of course, you're supporting me, but just watching the stream, though, guys. So yeah, it's really appreciated. I mean, I've got 41 of you still watching, and we're an hour and a half in. So that's pretty good going. I'm pretty happy with that. It says a lot for how good Saturday night TV is, doesn't it? The fact that you choose to be here with me. I feel honoured and privileged. So we are coming into Eastbourne, which they've done a really good job of modelling that. You've got the NCP multi-storey car park on the left there. I'm suitably impressed. The signal box is not actually that good, to be fair. Listed building as well. I'm suitably impressed with the route. I think they said in the recent stream, you know, it's supposed to be a representation of it being possible to get it 100%, but they've done a good job on this. They have done a good job. Eastbourne Station looks pretty much bang on. They've done a good job. So we're actually a minute and a bit late. I suppose that was because of the delays we had at Lewes. Better than Strictly Come Dancing. I've never watched Strictly Come Dancing, so I couldn't possibly comment. Look, I'm looking at the chat and not at where I'm going, and now we're going to hit the stops. And we're stopped. Step 3, DRA neutral. Again, when we do an offside door release, we could just use the buttons there, but we're not going to. We're going to get out the seat and use the buttons on the other side. There's a very good reason we do that. It's because of wrong side door releases. If you are... Wrong side door release may sound like such a stupid thing, the fact you can open the doors on the wrong side. But as a driver, if you're coming into a station, you're opening the doors on the left. You're going step 3, doors, step 3, doors, step 3, doors, step 3, doors. You could do that 10, 15 times and you build up kind of a muscle memory. So you got that one time you come into a station when the platform's on the right hand side, you go step 3, doors, and that's an operating incident. So we kind of, it's good practice actually. I think on some companies it's enforced now where you actually have to. You get up out the seat, release the doors on the right hand side. It just gets your mind thinking a bit and kind of gets you out that muscle memory, because yeah, wrong side door release I mean, some companies, I think Southern in the London area, Thameslink, and other companies have got safety systems in place to avoid that happening. But it's still, you can still do it. You open the doors on the wrong side, someone presses the button, doesn't know where they're going because it's a Friday night and they've drunk too much, or they're just, words I can't use in a stream. They fall out onto the track, get hit by another train. That's, as the driver, that's your fault. You know, you've caused that. So same with stop short incidents as well. You know, if the train isn't on the platform, someone opens the doors, platform isn't there because you've stopped in the wrong place, and yeah, so there's still quite a lot of possibilities to cause incidents and to bugger up as a driver. So although we've got safety systems and stuff in place, they're not foolproof. You still do need to be a little bit on the ball, to be honest with you. So how are we scoring? Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. We're not too bad at all. We'll absolutely take it. Peter Green, never had an issue with slam door trains. People could open the door at any speed. I'm old enough to remember them. Yeah, absolutely, Peter. You're old enough to remember them, and so am I. Funnily enough, like I said, Hampden Park's my local station. Eastbourne to Hampden Park. 421 SIGs. We used to get thumpers as well in the morning on the Ashford service. Used to take those to school. That was good fun. But yeah, I think the difference with that was there's my wife. She's moaning I'm taking too long. I think the thing was there. If with the slam door train, it was up to the passengers which side they got out and where they got out. You know, they had free reign, as it were. Where with the power door stock, we're stopping the train and opening the door, so it then becomes our responsibility as drivers and train operators. So I guess that's kind of where we're at. Jay Callow, a 12-car train stopped in 8-car position and had doors open without a platform. Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, if you've got a 12-car train, you come into the station, the GPS thinks, oh, it's a 12-car platform, it's a 12-car train, I can open all the doors. But you don't stop at the 12-car mark, you stop at the 8-car mark, and then it opens all the doors, the rear 4 off the platform or whatever. So that's yeah, that's pretty much how it works, unfortunately. So let's jump back into the game really quickly here. Return to free roam. Just want to have a quick look around the Eastbourne station. So what have we done? Yep, we've got tail lights on, off, and key out. So we noticed earlier we've got rain on the first coach. What about when we're walking around? Have we got rain? No. Right, okay. I don't get this. Oh, we got a little bit there on the doors. We closed the doors. Does that work? It does. No, it doesn't. Right, so now we've walked down here, we've got rain. But here, look, no rain. I think now we're looking at it, it's going to start raining. Yeah, not too keen on that graphic there. But yeah, no, Eastbourne Station is pretty impressive. They've made a pretty darn good job of this, I must say. 11:37 to Orr. It's a real shame we can't drive along that route up to Orr. Again, dovetail games, you know, come on, we'll get the bit to Orr, and then we can go to Ashford, and then we can have an extension on the Southeastern high speed down to Ashford. It'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, guys, we've been going for an hour and a half. 46 viewers still watching me, which is fantastic. What do you reckon, guys? We can wrap it up there, or we can have a quick run. We can do a quick run, St Pancras down to Ebbsfleet on the high speed. Go on. Tell me now. End it or St Pancras? It's entirely up to you guys. We'll do what you want. You are in charge of the stream. Let's see what's going on in Discord while you're deciding. Not much has changed in Discord. Ah, Luke there, mid-hands. I've got no idea if you're in the stream or not, Luke, but yeah, no idea if you're in the stream or not, Luke, but mid-hands, fantastic. So 66, 20, Crompton and a class 50. Love class 50s. Do a 66, yay, HS1. Southeastern high speed on St Pancras. Southeastern high speed. Oh, I think that's unanimous. I think my wife is going to have to wait. Luke's in the stream. There we go. It's come up on the Discord. Luke's in the stream. High speed, high speed, high speed, high speed. East Coast main line run. Now we don't. Oh, is there an East Coast main line for Is there an East Coast main line for Trains in World? I've got absolutely no idea. Okay, let's load up the high speed. We'll do. We're just going to do a St Pancras down to Ebbsfleet. Switch route. Here we go. Southeastern high speed. Timetable. I've got the networker as well. We might have to do the networker at some point. October clear. What should we do? I think there's a scenario on here as well that doesn't stop at Stratford, which would be pretty cool. Let's see if I can find that one. I was going to do a separate stream on the high speed, but I like to do these about 2 hours. We're running a little bit. That's because I want to go into scenarios, isn't it? That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, there we go. Right, high speed run. Take control of a class 395 service that is running late. That one will do very, very nicely. Thanks to my Patreon supporters, as you can see on the screen there, Jack Newell, Jack, Andrew B, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam, who are all supporting me on Patreon. Thank you very much to you. If you can, guys, if you want to, you haven't got to, you support me just by being in the stream, as I've said, and I am not going to keep going on about this, but yeah, www.patreon.com/dadrail. And as if by magic, we're in. That one's off. It does look. I mean, it looks good, doesn't it? You can't deny that. It looks good. I think it looks good. Crazy Killer. I've got to go. Got an early start myself in the morning. Love the TSW streams and hope to catch some more. Thank you very much for joining us. Very much appreciate it, my friend. We're going to get the markers that tell us exactly what to do as well, which is quite annoying. Let's put the safety systems back in. Not that we're really going to need AWS. DRA's already in when we start this one, which is quite interesting. You've got the KVB system as well, which they use, but it doesn't seem to be simulated. We can put it in, but it doesn't seem to be simulated. KVB leaving St Pancras, but yeah. So we'll key on. Now on the real thing, you hit train fault knowledge to shut the noise up, and then AWS reset. But for some reason you don't have to do that on here, just the AWS reset is sufficient. So DRA set because we've got a red signal up ahead of us. CTRL, and then pan up, she's down. So you've got AC system, DC and CTRL because the overhead system on the CTRL is actually slightly different to network rail. I've pressed that button, we've done that bit. Go into forward. I don't want to go into forward yet because I'm not ready to go, but if it'll satisfy you, then we'll do it. Right, unlock doors. We can't get up out the seat on this to unlock the door, so we are going to use buttons on that side, which is the wrong button because it should be those two, not that one. I did sign 395 for a while when I was at Southeastern as a shunt driver at Ashford Depot. I only ever drove them around the depot though, so it was the fastest domestic train in the country at the time, and I was only ever allowed to drive it around the depot. So yeah, but I can claim I have driven a 395. There'll be a new Brighton to London Victoria. Are you going to get it? It'll be out on the 7th from Train Sim World 2. Yeah, Theodore, I've already got the season ticket, so as soon as it comes out, it'll be downloaded automatically. Unfortunately, I'm working all week, so I won't be able to stream it, which I'm really annoyed about because it would have been great to get that one out straight away, considering that I signed the route as well. It would have been really good to do that. But alas, it is what it is, and that's where we're at. You're going to tell me to close the doors even though I've got a red signal, aren't you? Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen until that signal turns green, I'm afraid, because that would be pretty bad practice. Again, I know I've mentioned it before, you've got your DOA monitors here. It'd be really great to have something on the DOA monitors. You know, just a shot of the platform or just a static image or something, just to give it a bit more realism. Now, I wonder if the signal's not going to clear till I close the doors, because we're in scenario mode and not timetable. Let's see what it says. Reset the DRA. I don't want to. I've got a red signal. Ah, right. We're green. Now I'll reset the DRA happily. And apply power to get the train moving. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? It's going. So the 395 is quite interesting. The power brake controller on it is very similar to a 700, so it's stepless. So rather than having, I mean, I know we're simulated here step 1, 2, 3 and 4, etc, etc, but the actual controller is completely stepless, so it's just smooth. So a better way of doing this would have been in percentage. Just have 0 to 100% each way rather than having the steps. So 40. So you see speedboard black with white writing means we're in kilometres an hour, not miles an hour, and the speedo showing us in kilometres an hour. Speedo automatically changes over when we switch to DC. When we go into DC, it automatically changes to miles an hour. It does look nice. Dadra, what is the max speed of entering a station? Matthew, we've spoken about this a few times already, but I'll go over it again. There isn't any set speed. If you're going into a terminal station, 15 miles an hour at the platform ramps is normally where you want to be at. But there isn't actually a set speed for coming into a station. It depends on the railhead conditions. It could be one factor, how long the platform is, what the brakes are like on your train. There's no set speed. So the gradients on HS1 are pretty severe, as you can see here. Definitely wouldn't get a class 66 up here with a heavy train. That just wouldn't be happening. D for down. And we'll get the in-cab signalling system to fire up in a minute. And we'll get it going. Sometimes the signal only goes green after closing the doors. Who knows, Peter? Yeah. I think that was what was going to happen in that situation. So there you go. The in-cab signal system's fired up. 80. Now, why we've got lights there, I've got no idea. Because yeah, the cab lights turned off, as you can see. But there's something wrong with the lighting system here that I don't like it at all. It'll go dark in a minute. But... Right, so 3 greens at 200. Loving cab signalling, it's brilliant. It will become the norm. You can see it's getting darker now. I've got no idea what's going on with the lighting. Hopefully this will continue to run smooth. There you go, look, what's happened? Why have we gone dark all of a sudden? You know, what was lighting the train up? So I was speaking to a chap the other day who drives trains through the Channel Tunnels, kind of trying to explain some of the tunnel rules and bits and bobs to me, which is quite interesting. Yeah, lots of questions for him. I think I was probably boring him a little bit. I find it odd the 395 doesn't have speed control, especially seeing as it spends a lot of time on HS1 and 65. Yeah, I don't think I finished the point on the 377, although they're fitted with speed control, cruise control, set speed, whatever you want to call it. You're not allowed to use it. It was taken out of the driving policy that you're not supposed to use it. And I know with Southeastern, the 375s with speed control, the speed control button was actually disabled. Now works the anti-icing equipment on 375 800s. So yeah, it's been disabled. You can't use it, and I think that's why it wasn't specified for the 395s. We have speed control on 66s, but it only works up to 10 miles an hour. Creep control, they call it. It's very good, but yeah, it only works up to 10 miles an hour. So we've got green, TT5. It's pretty boring in the tunnels. Probably why they chose to model this route. I just imagine it was quite an easy, cheap route to model. Certainly the beginning half of it. You are actually allowed, believe it or not, to put the glider down. I can't find the glider, it's up there somewhere. There's no requirement to look out the window. I think it's above 125 on the speedo, but there's no requirement to look out the window. Yes, we're going to whiz through Stratford. Anti-ice on 375s now. Yeah, that's correct. On the 375s, the speed set line is now anti-ice. Yeah, Cody, that's correct. I think as well, it would have been nice to see some Eurostars going past and stuff. Just because you haven't got a train you can drive, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have one that they modelled anyway. That's my opinion. I think, especially with the Brighton mainline route, it'd be great to see some 700s going up and down there, because you get a lot of those when you get up into the London area, some 455s. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice. Oh, we're speeding, look at that. Yeah, slow speed control is very handy for when you need to unload coal at 3 miles an hour. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Propelling movements at 3 miles an hour as well. It's really good. It would be helpful to look out the window when you're coming into a station. Silent model trains. Yeah, but then you'd be below 125, so you'd have to look out the window, I guess. Someone was asking me about the gradients a little while ago, and commented to one of the videos how we know whether we're going uphill or downhill. Generally, it's just route knowledge. Kind of get a feel for it, but I really like the fact that on the 395 you've got this little arrow here which tells you whether you're accelerating, staying the same, or decelerating. So if you put it in neutral, you do that heading to coast. It's pretty obvious we're going uphill now because we're slowing down. The Electrostars have something similar on my track. They have a little bar graph that goes blue when you accelerate and red when you decelerate, and I think Hub Traction probably does as well to some extent, but no, generally speaking, that's just route knowledge. Matthew Rice, in a few months I'll be doing my work experience. What would you think is the best job for me if I enjoy trains? Do you mean for work experience, Matthew? Whereabouts will you be doing your work experience? Chris Ryan, I wish Dovetail would also offer signal simulation. It would be a good role to do. Chris Ryan, check out SimSig if you want signaling simulation. We've got a bit of SimSig on the Discord server, so we'll do that. If you're not in Discord, we've got a whole group on SimSig in there. Free to download as well. There's a couple of free simulations on there, but if you're into signaling, that is the place to go. Steve Edmund, what routes do you sign? Lots. Most of Kent, Sussex, sorry, not most of Kent, most of Sussex and Surrey, most of South London. I sign down the South West Main Line as far as Southampton, West London line to Boylston Junction, Isle of Grain, Hoo Junction, Ashford Marshes, Brighton. Yeah, quite a lot of places. So we're coming out here, London Tunnel 1, was that London Tunnel 2, and that's the junction there from Ripple Lane. A lot of Class 92 freight traffic goes off there at Ripple Lane. Don't think there's very much freight traffic on HS1 now, but yeah, most of it turns off there at Ripple Lane. Again, really easy route for them to construct. I bet if we jump outside, there's nothing else. Got a hub. Hello! Do train drivers wave at each other when we're driving along? Yeah, generally speaking. Friendly wave. And if the driver coming the other way doesn't wave back, yeah, well, it doesn't matter what we do. Keep it clean. It's a friendly street. Look at the external free camera. certainly do that. Start speeding because of gradient. Let's get some of that speed. It does. Right, what are we doing? Off we go, 225. I'm a bit gutted they didn't model the rest of the high speed down to Ashford, you know, it would have been really nice if they did. I'm a bit gutted about that. Brighton train spotter 123, hello there. Oh, hello sir. Thanks for Shepard, camera died, camera shot. Yeah, my wife come up behind me and was telling me that I've been streaming for too long. So I hit my privacy mode button because she might have used some words that were not suitable for younger ears. She's lovely. She works for the NHS, so you know, give her a round of applause. To be fair, it's the only day off I've got today as well. This week's been a busy week for me, so yeah, you know how it is. I'm out tomorrow on an RHT job and then I'm out all week. Some varied work this week. I've got some Southampton work, I've got some Eastleigh work, I've got some RHT work, I've got some aggregate trains. So yeah, good week of variety, but a busy week for me. Which is really annoying because I wanted to stream the Brighton maintenance stuff. But never mind, it is what it is. So there we go, 225 is flashing. So what that means is that by the time we get to the next marker board, I can expect we need to be going slower than 225. It means that the speed is going to come down. The marker boards are about a kilometre apart. The gradients here are really harsh as well. Like I've got loads of breakers. There we go, 200, which is flashing. So we need to be doing 200 at the next marker board, which is in half a kilometre. And because it's flashing, the speed is going to continue to reduce. Which it will do because we're coming towards Ebbsfleet. So I'm going to have to give it a bit more brake because we're going downhill. There we go, 160 and we're still flashing. I don't know why it's telling me I'm overspeed because I'm not overspeed. Is that just advising me where I've got to be? So next marker board we need to be doing 130, but the speed's not going to come down any further because it's not flashing, so we've set it at 130. So there's your next marker board. I believe that'll go green 130 then when we go past. There just goes 130, there we go. So we know we're not approaching any speed changes now. But we better get some brake in because we're coming off the CTRL and into Ebbsfleet. I tell you what, we'll keep going to Gravesend. I was going to spot a Brighton station, but I woke up to it raining, so I decided not to train spot. Yeah, I don't blame you. The weather's been absolutely horrendous today. That tells us we're coming back into normal signalling. Testing the AWS there. I find the speed can be a bit off-putting, so it looks like we're going really fast, doing 50 odd there, but obviously that's in kilometres. Loads of brake. Ebbsfleet International. Load passengers. Right, so now we need to do the changeover. So go into neutral. So you can see there we're in kilometres an hour. We're going to go over to DC third rail now. And now we need to lower our shoes and raise our pan. As soon as we press the DC, the pan should come down. And you can see we've gone over to miles an hour on the speedo there. Let's go for a walk around the 395. again, it does look, it looks really nice. The lighting in this one's pretty good on the top. On the I mentioned it in the previous stream on the 375 / 377. The lighting in the top is completely washed out. It doesn't look good at all. But this looks pretty good. Toilets locked out, as someone brightly said earlier on. Emergency equipment cupboards all locked out. But yeah, no, suitably impressed. Let's back in the cab. Here's a question for you in the chat. What is this thing here? This wooden bar. If you're railway staff, then you got an advantage. Does anyone know what this wooden bar is with the metal prong on it? Close the doors. And now the train becomes a snail on 750 DC. Yeah, it does. They've simulated that quite well. It's slower when it's on the DC than it is on the overheads. They have simulated that pretty well. DK on the fitter box, down Kent. Are these limited to notch 3 on DC? Not 100% sure on that one. I don't think so. They may be on certain lines. Certain lines may have restrictions on them. Like for example on the Seaford branch, you're limited to 50% power. If we take class 73 locos up there, we're not allowed to go up on electric. We have to go up on diesel because the power's not, the third rail's not powerful enough. There's not enough current there. So yeah, some places there may be restrictions. We'll get into Gravesend, guys, and then we will. Nitrox, paddle for isolating sugar from rail. Nope. Are you talking about the stick? I know what it's called, so I don't want to tell you. For hitting annoying passengers, Peter Green. Yeah, you're saying that you're definitely train crew. I'm pretty sure to bridge to an electrified area. No. TS to lift the shoes. No. Does 395 have a depot whistle? I used to drive these, do you know what? It does, yeah. But I think they can get the sound effect directly off of the 375 there. Yeah, that thing's what's called a short circuiting bar. If you have an emergency on the track and you have someone in contact with the third rail getting electrocuted, which is something you really don't want to come across for obvious reasons. 30 coming up against braking. Then what that bar does is it goes underneath, part of it goes underneath the third rail, the other part goes on the running rail. Basically you push it down, look away because it creates a nasty arc. And it will short circuit the third rail DC current. See, you've got a D on that theatre box. That is incorrect. You get a 1, 2 or a 0 on that theatre box. That is incorrect. You do not get a U and a D. You get a 1, 2 or a 0. Or 0, 1 and 2. It's wrong! It's wrong, I tell you! Where does this train actually go to? It only goes to Strood. We might as well take it to Strood, I guess. I wasn't sure if that was the paddle. Why can't you use track circuit operated clips on CTRL? As far as I know, it's just because CTRL doesn't run on traditional track circuits, so they would be ineffective. Basically, you'd put them down and they would do nothing. It's the same on areas that use axle counters as well. You put them down and they do absolutely nothing. The track circuit clips will do nothing in axle counter areas. A lot of companies still instruct you to put them down just to maintain some sort of consistency. Yeah, an emergency situation, as you can imagine, can be quite stressful at the best of times. So a lot of companies will, regardless of whether you're in a track circuited area or an axle counter area, will just, the blanket instruction will be put your track circuit operating clips down. You don't, in that situation when you're stressed and you're under pressure, you don't want to be thinking about the right thing to do. So yeah, just blanket instruction. I'm not too sure on track circuit clips on CTRL. I assume it's just because they would be ineffective. But I don't know enough about CTRL, so I don't know what the protection arrangements and stuff are. So this is only going to Strood, so we might as well take it down to Strood. I love that kind of motion as you get out of the seat there. It kind of throws you up and then down. It's really good. We can't get in the box there. So what other safety equipment we've got? I believe that's a red flag there, but it looks a bit different. Yes, that's your short circuitry bar, which isn't modelled very well because it should have kind of a little clip on it at the bottom there. That metal bit there goes on the bottom of the third rail, and there's a little clip that hangs over the running rail to short out the DC third rail current. CSRPA emergency power supply. This is your second man seat, so if you're route learning in a 395, you get a bit of an awkward view, exactly the same if you're in a 700. So in a 395, as I'm sure you've noticed, you sit smack bang in the middle of the cab. It's a really lovely cab, really comfortable seat, and they are really nice to drive, although I've only done so at 10 miles an hour. Right, close doors. Off we go. We're 30 mile an hour leaving Gravesend. Assuming we're not stopping at Higham. So I signed this route here as far as Hoo Junction, and I'd like to complain about the way Hoo Junction's modelled on here because it is really, really bad. Hoo Junction is not very accurate on the Chatham main lines on Trainsim Classic either, and it's not very accurate on here. So, Dovetail. Hoo Junction is just down the road from your headquarters as well. Go and have it. But no, like they said in the last stream, Dovetail stream, it's supposed to be a representation, so, and it's representative, I guess. Right, off we go. So while we get that going, what's happening over in the Discord server? Oh, we've got some Merseyrail action! Merseyrail 50... Is that a 508 there? I think it's a 507. I remember the 508s when we used to have them at Tunbridge. When I started on the railway at Tunbridge, we had 508s. Which were lovely. I would love to have driven a 508, I never got the chance. Similar to a 313 though, I'd say. We get up to 70, seems our rear coach clears, just using our judgment on that. Using our judgment and the fact that the indicator tells us. So guys, as you know, I'm trying to get the channel up to 10k subscribers, hashtag 10k for DadRail. So yeah, please do like and subscribe to DadRail. If you're talking in the stream, then I know you subscribe because you subscribers only in the chat. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. If you know anyone else that might like this content, if you're in other train sim groups, train sim communities, general railway communities, not just the train sim videos, my vlogs or anything, if you know anyone that might like the content, then it'd be really, really great if you could share it absolutely everywhere. I'd love to get to 10k subs by the end of the year. Like I said before, I'm never ever going to make a living from doing YouTube. There's not enough people interested in railways to get the subs and the numbers, although there's a fair few, but it's a little bit niche in the YouTube world. So, you know, I'm doing it for the love. I really enjoy doing these streams. I enjoy the feedback that you guys give me and everything. Just getting the likes and getting subscriptions and stuff really sort of helps, and it's rewarding. You know, if I didn't enjoy doing it, I wouldn't do it. So, yeah. Like I say, all the groups you're in that they let you share things and stuff, just if you can get the word out there, that'd be absolutely great, and I really appreciate it, guys. So we're off to Strood, coming up to Hoo Junction. On the left hand side here there is a shunt signal which will be facing the wrong way. We'll see the back of the shunt signal, which is just there. When you're coming into Hoo Junction with a freight train, you'll always get checked down on the red signal before. That especially when it's foggy, because it's really foggy along here, the back of that shunt signal, you don't want to be doing any more than 20 miles an hour when you go past the back of that shunt signal. Just like I was saying earlier, little things like that you pick up on route knowledge. In reality as well, the conductor rail switches from right to left just before the signal. You don't want to be doing any more than 10 miles an hour at that point where the conductor rail switches. Yeah. See, my biggest problem with Who Junction here is there's no gradient. Who Junction seems to be on the level. When you go into Who Junction, there's a gradient. Who Junction is actually higher up than what the main line is, and there's quite a lot of tree cover and stuff around. And it's empty. Who Junction should, it's never empty. It's always full of clutter and locos. And I know we haven't got that much modelled in it. We got some 66s and some wagons we can chuck in there from the East Coastway route. Bits and bobs, So yeah, just get it in there, populate it. Will you be getting the London Underground 1938 tube stop? If you guys want me to get it and want me to have a play with it, then I'll get it. It's entirely up to you guys. So we're coming through Highan. I don't actually sign this bit of route here. My route knowledge stops at Who Junction, or I could swing a left and go up to Grain. But only as of yesterday. I was past Competent on the Grain branch yesterday. The day after I was past Competent on class 69. Speedbird 2037, are you going to London or Gravesend? Neither. We're on the down road coming into Highan Tunnel. So our next station stop will be Strood, which is where this train terminates. I'll do my posh announcement voice. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is your driver speaking. We'll shortly be arriving at Strood, where this service will terminate. On behalf of myself and the train crew, I'd like to thank you for travelling with Southeastern High Speed today, and hope that you have a very safe and pleasant onward journey. Before you leave this train, please take a few moments to have a look around you, make sure you have all your personal belongings with you, and keep them with you at all times whilst on the station. Once again, Strood will be the next station stop where this train will terminate. Thank you for travelling with Southeastern High Speed. See, do you think I've done that before? This actually used to be a canal tunnel. You got Highan Tunnel, then you go into Strood Tunnel. The gap in the middle, I'm not quite sure what it was there for, but this used to be a canal tunnel before it was a railway tunnel. True fact. Mark Wilson, so you drive trains in your spare time? You drive trains? I think I said at the beginning of the stream, and I've said it in a couple of the previous ones, the kind of playing train simulator was more of just the catalyst for the conversation, really. It's nice just to have a chat and muck about and everything else. So the actual playing of the game is more of a catalyst just for the conversation. Warning for the 15. See, why have we not passed any networkers or 375s yet? I mean, we should have had networkers and 375s. I've bought the networker, I've paid for the networker, and there is 375s in this. We should be passing other stock. We should be passing 66s. It's just not busy enough. We should be passing 700s as well now, because of course they run down here to Raynham. Right, so we want to get down some speed off of that 15. They don't usually terminate at Strood. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's the scenario. Apparently this train's running late, so that's why it's terminating at Strood. That's what the scenario says. So we'll roll with it. We were only going to do to Ebbsfleet, so we've had quite a long drive today. 2 hours 5 we've been streaming for, so yeah, definitely got to wrap it up. We're going to be speeding for the 50. In reality, TPWS would have knocked me out there, and I'd be having a conversation with my manager. Strood, the next station is Strood. We are coming into Strood, guys, where we are going to wrap up the stream. Don't forget, if you haven't already, then please do subscribe to Dadrail and hit that like button. It really does help me out with what we're doing. And share this video amongst all your friends and all the railway groups is fantastic. It'd be great to see you over my social media channels, facebook.com/Dadrail, twitter.com/Dadrail as well. And don't forget as well, guys, if you want to support me and you're able to support me, patreon.com/Dadrail. Pressing buttons on my little stream deck machine. I spoke too soon. There is a 375. There is a 375. We're going to be right on top of the signal there. See, we need the Medway Valley down to Tunbridge now, then across to Redhill to join up with the Brighton main line. I think I should be in charge of Dovetail Gauge routes. We just have everything. I feel a bit sorry actually for the a lot of the Dovetail Gauge routes seem to be centred around the south and the southeast, because obviously where they're based, I think they're based in Chatham. So we should have some Welsh routes, some sort of northern routes and stuff as well. I think they should definitely have that. So there we go, DRA in, unlock the doors. Where's the button? Into neutral. And there we go, guys. I'm not going to wait for that to time out because it could be ages. So there we go, we got some Southeastern high speed in there as well, just to beef up the stream a little bit. Hopefully the audio's been good this time, hopefully that the visuals have been good, hopefully it's not been laggy. From what you said in the chat, it's been, what you said in the chat, it's all been pretty good, so yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. That's about all I can say, really. Really good to see you. I'm out and about driving trains for the next couple of days, so I'm going to be putting lots of stuff on Discord and on social media with being out and about, sort of what I'm doing. So if you ever see me out and about, then give me a wave. Remember, you know what I look like, but I don't know what you look like. So if just say you know me and give me a wave or whatever. And I've always got time to have a chat. You know, even if it's out the window of a moving train, I'll always wave back and say hi. So yeah, there we go. That is the end of the stream, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. And at this point, I'd normally say I'm going to be in the Discord server for a couple of hours to chat, but I'm not tonight. I'm actually, I've got a few chores to do. Then I've got to get straight off to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow. But yeah, there we go. I'm just procrastinating now. So remember, guys, until the next one, thank you very much, and create, share, and inspire.